Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the incredibly high-stakes world of digital crime scene investigation. Look, when a cyber attack hits, that initial shock, it can be totally paralyzing. But what happens immediately after the breach is usually what determines an organization's ultimate survival. So we're going to explore exactly how elite digital forensics can take the chaotic aftermath of an incident and transform it into a rock-solid blueprint for your future security. We're talking about shifting your entire mindset from just merely recovering to building true, lasting cyber resilience. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's look at our briefing dossier for today. We're going to cover the escalating cyber threat, why post-incident analysis is absolutely crucial, the anatomy of an effective report, the Lumiverse solutions approach, and finally, how to build that true cyber resilience.
Section 1. The escalating cyber threat. The crime wave. 38%. Just let that number sink in for a second. According to Checkpoint Research, that is the staggering increase in global cyber attacks we saw in 2022 alone. We aren't just talking about a few isolated incidents anymore. This is a massive, rapidly intensifying digital onslaught. Hackers are getting smarter, their methods are constantly evolving. And honestly, with this sheer volume of attacks, it's no longer a question of if your organization is going to be targeted, it's when.
And when they do finally hit, the financial damage is just colossal. $4.45 million. That is the global average cost of a single data breach, according to IBM's 2023 report. Think about that. This represents a literal existential threat to businesses today. It's not just your IT budget taking a hit. We're talking lost revenue, crippling operational downtime, massive regulatory fines, and completely shattered customer trust. The stakes literally could not be higher. Moving on to Section 2, why post-incident analysis matters. The forensic autopsy.
So post-incident analysis goes way beyond just rebooting servers and recovering data. It's a highly detailed examination of security breaches meant to identify your system vulnerabilities, decode attacker tactics, and develop targeted prevention strategies. By tracing the exact pathways an intruder took, you can actually turn a devastating breach into incredibly actionable intelligence. It's really about figuring out precisely how the attackers slipped past the perimeter, what specific tools they used, and exactly where your defenses fell short. Doing this creates this amazing culture of continuous improvement across your whole team. And the results of doing this the right way, they are undeniable. The Poneman Institute found that companies with mature incident response processes are significantly more likely to resolve security incidents within just hours. Compare that to the weeks, or sometimes even months, that some companies spend just struggling in the dark. By having a mature, analytical process ready to go, you shrink your exposure time down to mere hours, which obviously mitigates that devastating $4.45 million financial and reputational damage we just talked about.
All right, Section 3, anatomy of an effective report, deconstructing the investigation.
Now, what's really interesting when you dig into the root causes is this striking data point from the 2023 Verizon Data Breach Investigations report. Notice that massive 74% chunk? That represents the human element. The vast majority of vulnerabilities aren't actually complex software flaws or super hackers bypassing firewalls. They are human beings, people making mistakes, falling for phishing scams, or just mishandling their credentials. A proper incident analysis has to dig into this human side to find those specific weak points. That way, you know exactly where to direct your training and update your security protocols. Next, mapping out the incident's chronology is absolutely critical. You have to trace the exact sequence of events, step by step, from that initial detection to containment, straight through the deep forensic analysis, all the way to final resolution. Documenting these precise actions, both what the attackers did and how your defenders reacted, highlights exactly where the glaring gaps in your response time are. This mapping is what allows you to drastically reduce the time it takes to identify and contain the next breach. Once you've got that timeline locked down, you do a comprehensive impact assessment. This evaluates your financial losses, operational disruptions, reputational damage, and how well your existing security controls actually held up. Remember that $4.45 million statistic? Well, this is where you calculate your own specific exposure. You have to understand the full, unvarnished scope of the impact so you can effectively prioritize your response efforts and, let's be real, so you can justify future security investments to the leadership team. But look, all of this data gathering and analysis must culminate in actionable recommendations. Without them, you're facing a dangerously high risk of repeat incidents. Attackers will just use the same open door.
But by translating these hard lessons into concrete security improvements, companies see a 29% reduction in repeat incidents. That is a massive, immediate benefit to both your security posture and your bottom line. Which brings us to Section 4, the Lumaverse Solutions Approach, the expert detectives. When you're dealing with truly sophisticated cyber threats, Lumaverse Solutions brings a highly specialized approach to the table. They deploy a strike team of certified cybersecurity experts fully equipped with complete incident response solutions. And because every single organization has a totally unique setup, they customize their strategy to fit your specific risk profile. They leverage advanced forensic tools and techniques specifically designed to uncover those sneaky, hidden threats that your standard off-the-shelf software might miss entirely. And this brilliantly illustrates their systematic six-step cycle. It kicks off with rapid response and pristine evidence collection to essentially stop the bleeding immediately. That flows right into an in-depth incident analysis using those advanced tools we mentioned, which leads to a root cause identification. From there, they run a comprehensive impact assessment, generate tailored recommendations based on the lessons learned, and finally, and this is key, they drive continuous improvement through follow-up assessments. It is a complete end-to-end life cycle of recovery and fortification. Finally, Section 5, Building True Cyber Resilience, Securing the Digital Future. So the crucial point here, and Lumaverse Solutions really hits the nail on the head with this, is, quote, by prioritizing thorough post-incident reporting and analysis, organizations can recover more effectively from breaches and strengthen their defenses against future threats. It's really about evolving from that initial state of reactive panic to a place of genuine, lasting resilience. When every department understands their role based on this thorough analysis, they work together like a well-oiled machine, containing future breaches faster and a whole lot smarter. So, I'll leave you with this ultimate question. Is your organization actually ready to turn incident recovery into true resilience? In today's wild digital landscape, the next threat is already out there, evolving. So don't just bounce back from an attack, bounce forward. By partnering with experts and really committing to deep forensic analysis, you can fortify your defenses long before the next wave ever hits. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, stay secure out there.